All right, getting back to our candidate conversations with those running for local offices across South Mississippi. Joining me now is Scott-Naugle. He's running for alderman at large in the city of Pass-Christian. And Scott, thanks for coming in studio to talk about your campaign.
Thanks for inviting me in. It's a wonderful opportunity to chat a bit.
Yes, sir. So I want to ask you first, what spurred your decision to run for this alderman at large spot?
Well, I've lived in Pass-Christian for quite some time. It's a wonderful community. But it's a time of change, and I want to be sure that we respect the past that got us to where we are, the beauty, the charm of the city. But at the same time, we have to look at a few things of the 21st century. We've got to adapt, but we have to be very careful about the way we do it. And I've seen a lot of development in one section of town, and I think we've probably had enough in that area. But the rest of the community needs some attention, and they need someone that's going to listen to them, ask their input, and try to build a consensus about which direction the city should go on some of these things. But I want to underscore what I said up front. The community, the charm, the personality, the people, we've got to protect all that, and we've got to keep that personality the way it is.
I know you just touched on one major issue, but when it comes to your platform in this race, what are some of the other things that you think need to be addressed within the next 4-year term?
Well, number one, and I'll give you a little bit of my background. I've been the chief operating officer of a large publicly traded company spread across several states, heavily regulated. Regulators from Washington, D.C. parachuting in almost every day. Fiscal responsibility is critical. We've got to know what our finances are. We've got to adhere to a budget, and we have to be transparent. These shouldn't be secrets. We should be publishing on a regular basis the city's finances. We should know what money we have. We should know what our bills are. We should know what our obligations are. That should always be, on top of that, we've got to save a little bit of money every budget cycle because there's another disaster coming. We just don't know when, but we know one's coming. I want to bring that experience of running a large business and also a small business in town. With my business partner, we own a small business in Pass-Christian. And I know that from a different angle of making payroll every other Friday, knowing how much money you have, sometimes counting it down to the dollar. Number one is fiscal responsibility. And over the past several years, we've strayed from that a bit. And I want to bring that back to transparency, competency in planning, competency in spending the money, and doing all those things the right way.
All right, we're almost out of time, but I do want to ask you as well, in the weeks to come, are you going to be out and about talking to members of the community? It's an at-large seat, so if elected, you'd be representing the entire city, I know.
Absolutely. I'll go back to what I said right up front. We have a great community. It's made up of a lot of wonderful people. I want to listen to them. I want people to be heard that don't feel that they have a voice at times. So I will be going around, and I'll be welcoming opportunities to speak to people. But I said number one is fiscal responsibility. Number two is listening to people. It's a valuable skill, and I mean everybody in the community.
Well, Scott-Naugle, running for Pass-Christian alderman at large. Thank you for coming in again, Scott, and talking about your campaign.
Thank you, Grant.
Anytime.